Hello everyone, welcome back to What's the Play number 4. I saw a screenshot on Twitter from Ethan Monkeys Can't Cry. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to. It was an interesting photo to look at because I think it's very instructive. And I mean, it might be sort of clear what you would do, but I think the point of this is that it is actually a very instructive photo in a few ways. And of course, this situation is interesting. Ethan is a notable Doomsday player, so the scenario is Game 3 of Dimir Doomsday versus Dimir Shadow. So we're going to go into that in a bit. But thanks for being here. If you want to support this channel, hit that sub button. That's an easy way to do so. Leave a comment and check out the links below. And thanks for being here, and let's get right to it. All right. So, like I said, the scenario is Game 3 of Dimir Doomsday versus Dimir Shadow. So, Ethan's original tweet said, "Thought this was a reasonable example of a powerful hand in a tough matchup with a lot of ways to interact. Game 3 versus Dimir Shadow. What's the play? If you're casting Doomsday, what's the pile? Does it change if they force and you force back?" So, in my mind, there's a few ways to approach this, but the easiest way to approach this is to think about all of the ways that the Dimir Shadow deck has to interact. So a few ways come to mind. A, Wasteland on Underground Sea. That is definitely a worry with this hand. B, they have discards such as Thoughtseize and Hymn to Tarak. And C, I think postboard they'll have cards like Dress Down. So if you pass the turn, like sort of casting your 1 mana spells without going for the throat, I think something that's a huge risk here is that either you'll get wastelanded or they will daze in some follow-up turn sort of interacting with you. So my play would be to cast Dark Ritual. Of course, if they force that, then you're done. If it resolves, I would cast Doomsday. If they have force, then I would just force back and just set up a pile that can kill within approximately 3 turns or so. Um, so if that's the case, your pile, I think, needs to play around Wasteland. So you need to have 2 lands in the pile. And it's better to have lands than actual like Lotus Petals or whatever. Because I don't think you'll have enough space to put in multiple cyclers to get through your pile faster. Because I also want to have 0 cards in deck when I cast Thassa's Oracle if possible. Sure, you'll be at 9 or 10 life after all of this, but I think that's not going to be an issue because I don't think Shadow can really kill you that fast. Whereas if you're playing against Isildelver, there is a chance that you get triple bolted by that standpoint, of course. So I think the pile I would pick is Island, Cavern of Souls, very important to make it uncounterable, Thassa's Oracle, and 1 Cyclor. Probably it has to be Street Wraith, because of the fact that if you take Edge of Autumn and you get Wastelanded, then it doesn't really work. So I think, given all of that, that's what I would do. Also, I think the Street Wraith is mostly free versus them because when you play against Dimir Shadow, they kill you in much larger chunks of, much larger chunks than 3 damage at a time. So I think it's fine to put 1 Cycler in. So by that point, even if you get dressed down once with your Caverned Oracle, you can probably try again with the second Oracle, which is the reason to put 2 Oracles in the pile. And the reason to put 2 lands in the pile is it defeats 1 Wasteland. Of course, you'll lose to like some weird stuff, like if they have like, I guess you probably can't beat Stifle on the second one. There's just a lot of little things you can't beat, but I think that's okay. Sort of that's the issue with Doomsday sometimes. It's impossible to construct a pile that's good versus everything. But I think the pile I described is good versus most things. And I think indeed that is the pile that Ethan also came up with himself. Again, if you appreciate content like this, please subscribe to this channel and check out the links below. Thanks for being here.